Hi, welcome to another video in which I'm going to be showing and sharing the Marielle Tarot with you. Now, this is the second edition of the deck that I was sent by Schiffer to review, and I was so excited to be getting this tarot deck simply because so many people have been talking about it over the years, and it's one of them tarot decks that, although I'd never seen before, I'd heard lots about. So I was quite looking forward to getting my hands on my own copy. This deck arrives in a beautiful large black cardboard magnetic closed box, which looks lovely on the shelf. And the cards come with a really hefty, when I say hefty, I mean hefty guidebook. This book in itself, which is called Landscapes of the Abyss, is seriously informative. And if you don't own a tarot deck and this is your first deck you've ever bought, then this book will be enough to cover you. I don't think you'd need to buy any further books because it has everything in it. And the cards themselves are in the centre. They have a beautiful ring back to them. I'm just dropping parts of the package in there apparently. But because I don't like to keep cards in these size boxes on my shelf, I've been keeping my cards in this amazing pouch that I was sent that I'll tell you about another time. But the cards are exquisite. They have beautiful silver gilding, lovely backs, and the imagery on them is just so rich, so vibrant, so busy. I'll get onto them in a moment, but there's certainly something different and I love them. The art style is just incredible. But getting back to this guidebook, seriously, this book it's absolutely brimming with information, beautifully colour printed. It tells you all about Marie White. It tells you all about how she grew up loving art and that she was forever holding a pencil in her hand and doing drawings. And over the years, over many years, she created the Marielle Tarot. And every card has a 2-page spread. So if we take the Devil here, she'll give you a quote regarding the card. She gives you lots of information regarding the card, and she gives you keywords. So it's like 2 pages on every card, including the minors. So if we look at the 4 of Cups, again, you've got them, well, a page and a bit for the minors, sorry. But every card in there has got a full colour picture of the card. And the book it's a real read in itself. And the introduction of the book actually gives you quick guides to the major and the minor arcana. And you also get information about the structure of the tarot and information about the book itself and Marie. And at the back of the book, she also gives you some really, really lovely spreads. And this is one particular thing I love about this deck, because the spreads that she includes in this guidebook I found really useful. So things like a daily reading spread. She's got relationship spreads. She's got past life or yes or no spreads. And I can't even say that. I think it's the Tetristis spread. Lots of different spreads. So really, really packed full of information. This is like a little tarot Bible in itself. Without the cards, it's well worth it. But the cards are beautiful. They are really, really unique. So here goes. I'm going to go through the major arcana of the cards. Like I said, every picture is so rich. It is so busy. And for that reason, I wouldn't generally say that this is a tarot deck for beginners, because I feel that you do need to know the meanings of the cards. But here we go, look. Here's the Fool. Look at how intricate her drawings are. It's just absolutely beautiful. And the painting style in oil paints is just gorgeous. This kind of jumping into the unknown. The Magician. The High Priestess. The cards are just utterly beautiful. And the Empress here, I adore this card. This mother carrying a fruit, carrying a baby under a tree. It's so earthly, so beautiful. The Emperor, his tattoo on his hand. These rings and everything is just so intricate. The Hierophant. And the Lovers. Oh, I love the deep red colours in this card. Just so beautiful. And so, the art style is just so unique. Here's the Chariot. Justice. This reminds me of like an Egyptian goddess. And the Hermit. This is a really different Hermit card for me. I mean, you can see the lamp there, but it's almost watery and wavy and oh, it's just so lovely. Very different to what I've seen in other decks. And this is the Wheel of Fortune, and the wheel being obviously inside the woman. There is some nudity in these cards, but it's very artfully and tastefully done. Strength. You can see the lion there. The Hanged Man. Almost looks like a butterfly or a moth hanging upside down, doesn't it? Death. It's quite a creepy card, this one. And Temperance. At first when I saw this card I thought it was Strength with a tiger, but I realised obviously the tiger and the water and the balance. So, the Devil. And this reminds me of one of the door knockers from Labyrinth. I don't know if you've seen Labyrinth, but there's a scene with the two door knockers that speak, and this face here reminds me of that. The Tower, beautifully done. And the Star. I love the Star card. Star card's one of my favourite tarot cards anyway, but I just love how the star's in her dress, and the dress that flows is kind of hope. The Moon. It's different, isn't it? Apparently, people that like the Marielle tarot, it's like a group, if you will, almost. Here's the Sun, and there's a certain type of Marielle kind of fan, and I think I'm there. It's just so unique. Here we go. You've got Judgment there, and that to me is just so abstract. It's just amazing. And the World. This is one of my favourite cards. I would almost have used that image for the Star, but I think it's beautiful for the World. Okay, so moving on to the Minor Arcana. Every card in this tarot deck is quite busy. So the Major and the Minor evoke both very busy imagery. So here's the Ace of Wands. And the Two of Wands. See, some of these cards, it took me a while to actually pick up and think, yeah, well, I know the meaning to that. And that's why I'm saying I feel that, here's the Three of Wands, by the way, I feel that you have to know the meanings behind the cards before you use the Marielle deck, because some of the imagery is quite, not far away from the meaning, but it's not clear. I love the Four of Wands, it's lovely and fiery. And the Five of Wands. Six of Wands. Seven of Wands. Eight of Wands. I'd love your comments and feedback on these cards, by the way, because reviewing them, it was quite peculiar. It took me a little while to bond with the deck. But 9 of Wands. Once I had bonded with the deck, sorry, it was okay, and I do use these quite regularly. 10 of Wands. Moving on to the minor arcana court cards, you've got the Page of Wands and the Knight of Wands. See, some of the images at first I just didn't associate with, well, I guess the Rider-Waite really. The Queen of Wands. And Marie explains in her book that this particular set are based on like merging the Rider-Waite and the Thoth and the Marielle. So King of Wands there. So it's like a combination, and it's her own artwork to depict her own meanings, so it's beautiful. Ace of Cups. Two of Cups. This card's gorgeous. 3 of Cups. It looks like well, it looks like a scene from close by to where I live. 4 of Cups. And the 5 of Cups. My daughter loves this card. 6 of Cups. 7 of Cups. 8 of Cups. The 9 of Cups. And the 10 of Cups. See, now usually this card's like depicted by rainbows and cups in the sky and happiness. And I didn't feel that originally with this card. And you've got to look deeper into the images. And you've got to kind of work out that meaning for yourself, if you will. Page of Cups. And I love the fish, kind of the tattoo going down the back of her head. The Knight of Cups. And the Queen of Cups. Not the prettiest Queen of Cups I've ever seen, but still. And the King of Cups. Okay, so swords. Here's the Ace of Swords. I love this eagle. And the 2 of Swords. I love this card. It's so beautiful. So pretty. And the 3 of Swords, it takes me back to the Rider-Waite, and I feel like, oh, here we are with that typical 3 swords through a heart image. I think that's the only typical image in this deck. So 4 of Swords, what a gorgeous card. And the 5 of Swords. Six of Swords. See, I felt this to be like religious, but not quite. 7 of Swords. 8 of Swords. How gorgeous is this picture? You could just lose yourself in this picture. And the 9 of Swords. 10 of Swords. Page of Swords. I would never have associated this image with a page, but that's the Marielle. The imagery is so far from what I would associate with originally, but hey ho. Knight of Swords. And the Queen of Swords. I love this eye here. I think it's beautiful. And the King of Swords. He doesn't look happy, does he? Okay, so in this particular deck, Marie refers to the pentacles as discs. So here's the Ace of Discs. and the Two of Discs. This just reminds me of some sort of beauty face pack, you know, like your cucumbers on your eyes and your face mask on. Obviously it's not, but still. And the Three of Discs. It's a teamwork idea. The Four of Discs. I love the earthliness of this card. The Five of Discs, and I love how you can kind of see into his heart or his soul, like the scene. Six of Discs. See how busy these cards are. When you look at everything, you can see there's so much detail. Seven of Discs. Eight of Discs. And the 9. That card reminded me of the devil in a way, but... And the 10. See, this is meant to be like a happy, materialistic kind of card, but the imagery is just so different. It's not the Rider-Waite, and I think at first that was my problem, but I've got used to it now. Page of Discs. How cute is that card? The Knight of Discs. The Queen of Discs. And finally the King of Discs. This is a lovely deck. It is a perfect size for my hands to shuffle. The silver gilding on the edge. Originally when I received this deck, I found that some of the cards were like a bit stuck together, but they came apart absolutely fine, and once I'd undone them, they never needed undoing, is that the word? They never needed peeling apart again. And they shuffle beautifully. This deck just shuffles so beautifully. The cards are really nice, not too shiny. They're just a really nice kind of smooth finish. It's a really nice feel to the deck. And I think you're going to either love or hate the Marielle. It's a Marmite kind of tarot deck. It's one of them tarot decks that's so different, it might be too different. But it's also so different, it's very unique, so therefore very collectible. And it has a massive following in terms of tarot readers. So many people have the Marielle, because if you're a tarot collector who's, let's say, into art, then the Marielle, you know, it's probably going to tick quite a few of your boxes, because it is hugely artistic. And the oil paintings took Marie years and years to create. It was a real labour of love. And I feel like having this deck in my hand is like, I'm quite proud of having this deck in my hand. I feel honoured, because I can feel the love and the effort that went into creating this. And though some of the cards I don't quite look at and think, oh yeah, I can see in that picture that this means that. I mean, sometimes it's about looking beyond that and seeing, what else do I see in this card? How do I depict the imagery myself? Where was Marie taking this image? What was she doing with this card? You know, what is her meaning behind this card? And so it's not all about knowing the meanings of tarot cards like in the Rider-Waite system. A lot of it's about like interpreting the imagery yourself. And so this has been a bit of a journey for me as a Marielle. I think it's the Marielle journey, shall we say. It took me a few weeks to really kind of settle with using the deck regularly. But more than anything, I appreciated this for the artwork. I love art. I've been into artists and researching art and doing art myself from a very early age. So for me, this deck was more of an art kind of deck than a tarot kind of deck. And like I said earlier in the video, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it to beginners, because I don't feel like it's a tarot deck that's dead easy to understand, but it is a tarot deck that's worth having. And if you are a beginner, the book that comes with it is so bulky, and there's so much to it that it will give you the meanings. You can always use a book to begin with. And it's a beautiful, beautiful tarot deck that I've really enjoyed kind of becoming friends with. So I really appreciate having been sent this by Shiver, because it's been a journey and one that I've really enjoyed. I would recommend the Marielle. I wouldn't recommend it to beginners. I would recommend it to collectors and people that are serious about reading tarot, that want to try something a bit different, something that isn't quite Rider-Waite and the norm. So the Marielle may well be the deck for you if that's the case. Anyway, I'd like to thank Schiffer for sending this beautiful tarot deck, and it will be remaining on my shelves, and I will be using it over the next few years, and I am sure that over time I will probably build the bond even more so, and I'll probably become even more of a fan in time. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'd love to have some comments and some feedback on your thoughts upon the Marielle below if you fancy adding a comment. So yeah, it's been fun. Thanks for watching. Bye.